friends, this is Michael and welcome to my YouTube channel. Today I am going to feature the Brightest Birthday Kit from Stampin' Up! And I'm going to show you what I did to create this into a 12 by 12 double page scrapbook layout. I've put these together off camera. So here is the birthday wishes card with the envelope. Then I have this card here, Enjoy Your Day, with the balloons. And then finally, with this envelope and the stars, I have the Happy Birthday ice cream cone. So I made 3 of the 9 cards, just as the workshop or the kit instructed. And then I decided I wanted to see if I could come up with a layout idea. So here's the contents of the kit for each card. And you can see what I had left over. I had 2 of each of the card bases. I had 2 each of these background pieces. I still had the stamp set, which this is a picture of the ink, and the dots left over. Starting with my 2 sheets of 12 by 12 white willow cardstock, I then, using a sketch that I had picked out, started to lay my pieces down and work on a layout. I'm just going to give this a go and speed up this process because there's lots of moving papers around and changing things, but you can see how my thought process worked based on the sketch. Okay, here's the layout that I came up with in a rough kind of style, which I think I like. I get a variety of sizes of pictures as well as orientations. I like the triangle of the different elements that are on here. It pulls the sparkle in 3 different places also as a triangle. As I looked at this, I realized that this yellow bases were just a little bit plain for me. So off camera, I'm going to take those and go look for an embossing folder that would just give them some texture. I don't need a lot. I don't want stamping on it, but I'm going to add some texture. So let me show you what I found. I went through my embossing folders. I found this Forever Plaid embossing folder, and I ran it through. I liked it for 2 different reasons. 1, it fit my full card base. And 2, it hid the score lines. You can't even tell where the score lines are for the cards. So I don't have to worry about trying to hide that in my layout, which was a bonus for me. Okay, let's add this back in here. There we go. So I really like how that adds a little bit of texture. And now I have room here for a title and maybe even some journaling down here. I also feel like the background of this is a little bit stark. So what I might do is take the stamp set, and it's got these stars here. And I might just do some random stamping with the stars, both the big and the small, using that azure blue, Azure Afternoon ink spot, and add a little decoration in the back. So off camera, I'm gonna take a minute and do some stamping, and I will also play with my title options. Let's just insert a step here. Off camera, I was doing a little stamping, I did decide that I wanted my title up in this area, and using this stamp set as an inspiration, I decided I wanted to do birthday and then stamp wishes and kind of overlay that on top. So this is the card base that I have left over from cutting my 1-inch strips that I used, which I didn't do but showed you off camera. And then I pulled out my adhesive sheets, which are these right here. And I love these a la mode dies, but they are tricky to get adhesive on because they're so thin. So I'm gonna add this adhesive sheet to the back. And then let's lay that flat down there. And then as I put these letters and cut them on my die cut machine, I will have them all ready to lay down and adhere to my page. So I taped all those on there with a little bit of washi tape so it would just hold it in place. And then you can just peel these off here, and you can see each of the letters are cut, and then this on the back is the adhesive sheet. And I'll just use my take a pick tool, pick off the backing, and it'll have adhesive when I am ready to actually place it down. I'm not completely ready to glue everything down over here. I haven't actually stamped, but what I wanted to do was just see how this title was gonna look with my pages here. So this is that card right here. And I tried to cut it as a big circle. It didn't fit well and didn't look nice like that. So I decided to go ahead and just stamp the circles, add these circles, and cut out around it. So it kind of looks like the balloon is coming out of behind the picture here. I'll speed this up as I lay out the title so you can see how it comes together. I was able to just ink up the wishes part with that small cube. I could have also done some masking with this. You can see when I first tried it, I missed the S. But I like how that turned out, and I left myself enough room so that I could cut a larger piece and see how I wanted this to lay down. So let's pull out this paper trimmer here. Line that up. Now, do I want wishes to go across there? I don't think I want it to be that big. I think it covers up too much of the title if it's that big. So let's try that. Birthday wishes. It could even come down here and be popped up. Okay, let's start with that, and then we'll continue on playing with the stamping. Now, I did my stamping first with the left-hand page. I decided to do second generation because I wanted it to have a lighter feel to it and not be so dark, especially since my title was going to be dark. And so I'm going to continue that over here on this page. I still haven't cut this piece, wanting to make sure that it's exactly where I want it to be. But I have my blue in 3 different places, now kind of in 4, but in a triangle. I have my yellows opposing one another, and I like this distance here to be about the same distance that I have here when it's next to that. Then I also like having this little bit of different color, and I go back and forth but I think I'm going to cut it off to be the same size as this piece here. But that gives me an idea of where I want to put my stamping. And so a couple of things that I notice as I'm doing this, I really want my stamping to kind of come across here because I feel like that needs to tie those pieces in together. So this is what I'm using, my scrap paper, and stamping off and then stamping on here. And that just kind of helps that move over. Now I know that I'm gonna also have my ice cream cone here. Remember, we've got a photo mat here and a photo mat here. So I've got my ice cream cone here. So that just kind of pulls that in all together. Now let's continue with some random stamping to add a few more second generation stars. I do have a feeling that we'll have to add a few more stamps as we go along here, but this kind of gives me the beginning of my stamping. Now is time to start doing cutting and placing on this left or right hand page. And so here we go. Okay, I think my right-hand page is done. It's settled. I like the way it is all coming together there. I decided against using the larger star because I felt like it was just too much. I may come back and add a few more of the second generation stars, but let's get this birthday title. Okay, I'm gonna just put these down very lightly so you can get the picture of what it looks like. I can always pull these up and do my journaling when it is time to add the photos to this page. And I would love to know the last birthday party you attended. And do you have pictures that would fit on these pages? But I'm gonna bring in my dots here, and then I think by adding a few of these dots along the way that we will finish this page up. And I love adding this pops of color. And I usually do them in kind of sets of 3, an odd number, and a cluster is fun. Let's do this here. And I also try to do them in a triangle, even though it's not the most perfect triangle. I'm going to cover up that star so you can see I've got triangles there. Let's do some where these packages are. Now these packages, if you remember looking at the cards, were at the bottom of where the balloon was. And I just cut them off and then used this overlay that was part of it. It's sticky and it allows you to put it on here, and then it even sticks onto that area right there. So easy peasy. Okay, my friends, one more thing to do. I'll do that off camera, then I'm going to take a picture, which I'll post at the end of this. But here is my double page layout done with the Brightest Birthday Kit. Thank you for watching my video. Please make sure that you share and like it and subscribe to my channel so you'll know when the next video is being released.